Good afternoon. I'm glad you came here because I'd like to take the opportunity to puncture the lies and tell the truth.
I know nothing.
The truth is that Hamas still has thousands of armed terrorists in Gaza. Now, we've done a great deal. We have about 70 to 75% of Gaza under Israeli control, military control. Hamas still has thousands of armed terrorists in Gaza. But we have two remaining strongholds, okay? These are Gaza City and the central camps in the Muasi. That's roughly, it's schematically presented here, but it's fairly accurate. Last Thursday, Israel's Security Cabinet, instructed the IDF to dismantle the two remaining Hamas strongholds in Gaza City and the central camps, and sent millions of text messages, millions of phone calls to Gazans to get out of harm's way.
But I just discovered a brand new thing that's absolutely free. I almost couldn't believe it myself. Why, just the other day I picked up the telephone to call my ex, and then the funniest thing happened. I put the phone down. It costs me nothing, and we both can live in peace. Well, I just about shit my pants. What a concept. So go ahead and give it a whirl. It's free to leave someone the fuck alone.
We have about 70 to 75% of Gaza. It's the kind of malignant lies that were leveled at the Jewish people in the Middle Ages we won't suffer. We won't allow it to go unchallenged, and this is the purpose of this press conference. I hope that you open your eyes. To a simple fact: Hamas lies.
You gotta know yourself, and you gotta know the enemy.
Now you can ask me any question you want.
So, how did you manage to dial all those people and text all those people?
And sent millions of text messages, millions of phone calls to Gazans to get out of harm's way.
I mean, how did you know which ones were Hamas and which ones weren't?
Please don't disagree with me and argue with me. Let me finish.
Sky News, UK.
Last question, please.
Last question.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Given what the IPC says is the unfolding spectre of famine in the Gaza Strip, would you accept that your 11-week blockade, complete blockade on Gaza, played a role in that? And also, given the killings that we have seen at the GHF aid sites,
To be a true player, you have to know how to play.
how will you guarantee that that kind of disaster will not happen when you have 1 million more people displaced? Thank you.
Well, number one, the problem that we had was trying to stop Hamas looting. There's no question there was Hamas looting. Everybody saw it. You could see it. Hamas terrorists taking over trucks and so on. We tried to do two things simultaneously: stop the trucks and bring in the trucks through the GHF distribution points.
I feel like I'm being focus tested.
Okay, it wasn't successful. And it wasn't successful, among other things, because Hamas interdicted also the GHF program.
So that's like 5 Gregs on this rotation. One of them is just called GREG.
The distribution point. So Hamas created this problem and sent millions of text messages, millions of phone calls to Gazans to get out of harm's way.
I am an arse.
And it was directed against us. Immediately, we have a starvation policy, which is completely false. Any more than we have a genocide policy, which is equally false. We don't. Not this, not that. I don't know of a country that texts millions of messages to civilians to get out of harm's way, giving up the element of surprise, or calling them individually and so forth. Yet Israel is accused of genocide. It's absurd. Or starvation policy. But there was a problem of deprivation. No question about it. And so we had to solve it. And the way we solve it is the way I described it to you. And there are now not 0 trucks, but at least in, I think last time I checked, hundreds of trucks that went into Gaza. That's alleviating the situation. Now we want to increase the number of distribution sites. So there's not, basically you answer this problem, or you solve this problem by the law of supply and demand. If you have a lot of supply, if you flood Gaza with food, which some of it will be pilfered, there's no way to get around that, will be looted by Hamas, but you'll have, if enough food reaches the marketplace, so to speak, then you'll see a difference. And you know what the difference is? How do we know for sure there's a difference? Because we monitor, as any one of you could, the price of food in Gaza. It's plummeted. It's plummeted ever since that we decided to take to do the humanitarian surge. And it'll plummet more if other countries join us. So I called on other countries to join in the airdrops. I actually called them to help persuade the UN to move those trucks.
Does that sound like it makes sense to you? Because it sure as hell doesn't sound like it makes sense to me. That sounds more like, oh, there's food going into Gaza, and we're seeing the price of food fall, which is bad for our economy. But we'll say it's a good thing as though we actually mean it's somebody else next door. I don't trust him as far as I could throw him.
Because every truck that goes in brings down the price of food. That's what happens. And when you have no shortage like that, then you don't have also the crowding around distribution points. And by the way, a lot of the firing was done by Hamas, seeking to have response by our forces, and very often they didn't. They held back. They stayed their fire, even though their own lives were on the line. Before the war, by the way, it was about, third, two-thirds in the overall population, probably 60-40, or even more, in the Jewish population. But now it's changed more dramatically. I mean, we had a vote in the Knesset a few months ago about the possibility of, having a Palestinian state, and the result was 99-9. 99-9. And that covers a very broad spectrum. And today, most of the Jewish public is against the Palestinian state for the simple reason that they know it won't bring peace, it'll bring war. To have European countries and Australia march into that, rabbit hole, just like that, fall right into it, and buy this canard is disappointing.
I have to pause you right here because we want to chime in and take a listen to the Israeli Prime Minister beginning his statement.
After the IDF has taken over 70% of the Gaza Strip in the Gideon's Chariots operation, I will wait. But in the meantime, can I have a glass of water, please? Mr. Prime Minister, with your permission, I have two questions. In March 2024, a year and a half ago, you said on a video in your social media that we cannot complete the victory without the IDF going into Rafah in order to defeat the remaining population of Hamas. And also you said to CBS that after we go into Rafah, the operation will only last a few weeks. We can't leave the last stronghold of Hamas in Rafah. So what has gone wrong? Also, the government is enabling a large drafting of reservists, whereas you are telling the Orthodox they don't need to be drafted. So your member of coalition, Aryeh Deri, is telling the young ultra-Orthodox not to be drafted. Have you been telling him off for what he's saying? Have you, as for what you've said, how is it that you want these people to keep fighting when others are not doing so? That was not the question, but I would like to answer to some of your false assertions. Please don't disagree with me and argue with me. Let me finish. As for drafting, you asked a question, please wait. As for what you've said, first of all, we are taking actions to draft everyone. Now, there is first of all the component, maybe some have forgotten October 7th, in Europe and also in Israel. I haven't forgotten. I refuse to have these monstrous murderers remain there. We're going to kill them, just as I've been asked to do. We're going to kill them, just as I've been asked to do. We're going to kill them, just as I've been asked to do. And he did not use your tone. And he spoke like I do, like I feel, and like many feel. They are willing, these reservists, they don't want Hamas there. They don't want it to rearm. They didn't want it to regroup. They didn't want it to be behind the fence so that it can once again carry out incursions to Ofakim and Sderot. They don't want that, and I don't want that either. And hopefully that will be dealt with soon. I have not heard this, but he denied it. I have not seen it, but I was told he hasn't said it. I think you're referring to Aryeh Deri, but I do not support that. And those things probably were not said.
All right, the press conference there continues, and we will be tuning back in when we see fit, but we wanted to bring the discussion back here in studio.
This is bullshit.
I know nothing.
Well, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court.
We're going to kill them, just as I've been asked to do.
Didn't you tell me that once?